It's all contrived, manipulated BS. I'm going to pay a person to act like they love this idea. I'm going to pay another person to act like they hate the idea. They argue, go back and forth, and in 2 days, you argue about something else. Case in point, we just showed you arguing about Shedeur Sanders. How's about we just argue about Ty Simpson?
You want if you absolutely had to make a pick at number 6? Who would you want, Mary Kay?
Well, I'm just going to follow through with what I told a few people at these meetings, and you guys are going to think I'm probably crazy. But I've watched film now, and I've thought through it, and I think I would actually take a chance on Ty Simpson at number 6. I think I would do that because I've seen enough over the years.
This is the face of somebody going off script. This is the face of somebody being like, whoa, where did you jump off the roof with this one from? Because if you ask yourself after you listen to this, do you really feel like she likes Ty Simpson? Do you think that she's saying this like and really thinks he can play football? What? Listen to the tone. I always tell you, listen, look.
Meetings, and you guys are going to think I'm probably crazy. But I've watched film now, and I've thought through it, and I think I would actually take a chance on Ty Simpson at number 6. I think I would do that because I've seen enough over the years where if you're not 100% sure about a player at another position, then why not take a chance on a quarterback? I said that in 22 about Malik Willis. Take a chance on Malik Willis and see what you can develop him into. And that's how I feel about the quarterbacks in round 1. Because they don't cost all that much money. And if you happen to hit on one, then you can have a quarterback on a rookie contract that might turn into something for you. So I like to take that.
So here's how you don't believe that. Because you had a rookie quarterback who's on a less contract than Ty Simpson would be if you drafted him at 6. So why don't you have the same concept of seeing what you got with the guy that's cheaper than the dude that you want to go with, and he doesn't have a good track record of success and only playing 15 games? Yeah. You don't believe that. Remember what I told y'all before. They want you to believe that maybe they have gone mad. No, they haven't gone mad. They know exactly what's going on. Like when you said that, people like me are going to be like, hey, I can't believe that you said Ty Simpson. Let's talk about it. Then everybody goes on Twitter and clicks on everything, and that's just what it is. The part that Ken's face is saying, I didn't know you was engaging in this game too. Look, he's like, I knew it might have been Lima. I didn't know you was engaging in the game too. When did you sign up?
Swing at the plate at a quarterback in the first round if it's there. Now, it's a tough call. It is definitely a tough call on him because there are plenty of question marks. But there are plenty of question marks about a lot of other guys that you might take there too. So I know I'll probably get a lot of blowback or pushback on that, but I don't care about that. I've said that about other quarterbacks over the years that I think they should have taken, and sometimes it turns out that it would not have been the worst decision in the world.
At number 6.
And wait a minute.
Mary Kay, Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I'm not sure.
No.
I'm not sure. Not sure what he's going to be. But if you like him well enough to take him at 24, then you probably would have to grab him at number 6 because there's a good chance he's not going to make it to 24. So if you think he's a guy that you can bring in and develop and see what he turns into, and I guess everybody would say, well, that would mean the end of Shedeur. I don't think that necessarily does mean the end of Shedeur. I don't think that. I know people would disagree with me on that. But I think that Ty is going to need some time because he has only started 15 games. But I like a lot of what I've seen in those 15 games from a decision-making standpoint, from an arm standpoint, from an agility standpoint. So I probably would take him there. Who would you take?
Not Ty Simpson.
Ooh. Now remember, understand this. This is why, remember what I said, you've been found out? You've been found out? Let's take Exhibit C right here.
State unequivocally that you're not trading Miles Garrett?
I'd say this, Mary Kay. Miles is a career Brown. He is one of the faces of our organization. I think we've been very clear, both past and present, in terms of our feelings on that. So I understand all the questions. I'll be honest, I don't really want to waste a ton more breath on it.
Do you know what it takes for a general manager to tell a reporter, I don't want to waste no more of my breath on that topic? Next question. Ooh. You see, the thing about plots is when you're actually exposed, what you're seeing in real time, and I'm just being honest with you, what you're seeing in real time is people trying to find any sort of crack, crevice, ledge, footholding to stay afloat. What do you mean by that, G. Bush? Andrew Berry is well aware of who was leaking information. Andrew Berry is well aware of what individuals had that information leaked to. Andrew Berry is well aware that when Kevin Stefanski got fired, a large contingency of the media said he should be fired too. They even insinuated that Kevin should be his boss. They also insinuated that one of the reasons Kevin's got let go is because of the Deshaun Watson contract, and the Watson contract destroyed everybody. They also insinuated that it wasn't Kevin's fault because Shedeur was just too dumb or lazy to play good football last year. Now, when you are saying these things in the public sphere in real time, you do know that they're going to hear these things. You do understand that makes your job more difficult because there's nobody else in the building that you can rely on for any solid information. So what happens when you are given information for a long period of time and you don't have a foundation of football built around that? What happens when the information is taken? Follow me here. If I'm in a game and I just know based on what I'm writing is based on what somebody telling me, when people stop telling you stuff, what do you have to fall back on? If it's not your playing experience, if it's not your film work, if it's not watching tape, if it's not understanding the game of football, if it's not doing scouting, if it's not being around and understanding what plays look like and how, if you get that voice taken away that's telling you what to write, what happens next? You start saying, I'm going to take Ty Simpson at 6. You'll start to say Malik Willis for $30 million is worth it. You'll start to actually say, why can't we get Kyler Murray? Because what happens is the foundation and principles of what your football knowledge is and sports knowledge has now been reduced to things that you don't necessarily know or have taken the time to develop. So when that rug is pulled, your foundation is built on soft sand. It's not built on rocks. It's not built on granite. It's not built on a solid stone foundation that says no matter what Andrew Berry or who tell me in that organization, I always have an eye to understand and to put things together in context based on what I see, what I know, my experience level. And what you're saying today is if you don't have any information, just throw things out there. Just throw it out there. Let me bring you to this. Let me just show you something. Let me show you something real quick. Where is that? This article was in it was in Forbes today. This was in Forbes. We're able to pull this up. Watch this. When the Australian newspaper celebrated its 60th anniversary this year, its founder, Rupert Murdoch, foreshadowed the death of the print newspapers within 15 years. He wanted to say 15 years with a lot of luck, declared the media mogul and chairman emeritus of News Corp in Sky interview, much to the chagrin of his employees. It's an uncomfortable prediction for those in already struggling industry. In the past month, Australia's newsrooms have continued to shrink. Big name journalists have been talking and taking redundancies across metropolitan, regional, and mastheads. Workplace discontent is also high. The job cuts following hundreds of journalists striking over pay during the Paris Olympics. Social media has also grabbed the headlines and the eyeballs. Global trends also show us worrying signs for legacy media. In Britain, recent data released by media regulator Ofcom showed a generational shift. Remember what I always tell you. Culture, generation, it's the trends. It's the corporate. Remember what we talk about. We just don't talk football over here. I get it. Maybe you wanted to talk. All right. Listen, we trying to give you the story here. It's the shift people have to watch. The climate move. Therefore, you have to shift and pivot your position to stay relevant in what we're doing. What you're seeing in a lot of places is not the fact that these people are crazy. This is survival mode. They have to do this. They have to. Global trends also show warring signs for legacy media in Britain. Recent data released by media regulator Ofcom showed a generational shift, with more people getting their news online than from TV for the first time since the 1960s, with the exception of election coverage. The annual surveys also show social media dominating audience share over news publishers' websites. The University of Oxford's Reuters Institute annual digital news report, released in June, paints the picture and paints the same picture. It is found that over 47 countries, news use was fragmenting across platforms and outlets. Even social media are disrupted. A wave of new online platforms is taking greater audience share from what we are now termed legacy social media sites. Have I not been telling you this since day one? When we examine and people ask me to do a deep dive into what's going on with the media, why is it like this? I've already told you this, but again, I said that all over the place, but I'm giving you the details. See, this is why it's different over this place. Y'all can do all that screaming and talking. I'm trying to do some educating. These are the receipts. I didn't do the study. I'm just showing you what it is. Let's continue to move on. Meanwhile, the proportion of news consumers, 22%, whose main news source is news websites, has fallen 10% since 2018. Instead, digital short form videos and online news explainers from influencers are increasingly popular, especially with younger audiences. TikTok and YouTube news use is also increasing, and they are ideal mediums for video content. In some instances, social media influencers have greater audience trust levels than established mastheads. Let that sink in. The consumer has chosen to identify what independent. Does it sound familiar? I've been telling you all this for forever. This ain't for everybody. I get it. In some instances, social media influencers have a greater audience trust level than established mastheads. Media news trust varies by brand, but in a world of troubled with misinformation, overall trust in Australia media sits at a worrying 40%. This is in Australia. This ain't the United States is even lower. So remember, we go back to the video. When the publisher says, yeah, you did a nice little story, that was cool, you got 5 clicks. Even if you're a regular journalist, if you want to have some integrity, if you want to be a person that just tells calls balls and strikes, you're in a climate today where balls and strikes don't get clicks. Sound information don't get clicks. Level-headed thought process don't get clicks. So what you're forced to do, if you are a journalist or you are a legacy media member, you're forced to play the new game their way, or you get forced out. Because the bottom line still speaks. If a media influencer and a YouTube channel has more views, has more credibility, has more loyalty than the news outlets, how do you compete? There's one or two ways you can go about it. You can continue to sit there and not do it, or you can turn yourself into a person that also can deliver hot takes. Hence, people's faces when they say, wow, you joined the game too? The game is the game always. Continue on and finish it. It's all about the demographics. Young people in particular are increasingly turning to social media for their news. Ask anyone under 30 when they last read a newspaper. Generational Z, 18 to 26 years old, thirds rely on social media as their main news source. Meta's Instagram is their preferred platform. For other age groups, 49% of Australians say they use social media for news, a fraction behind 56% for TV. Place a life kid. Can you put that back up for me, Rosie? Let's get to that. We don't gravitate towards disingenuous media in 2026. That lie. Because I said it. Because I said so. That stuff is played out. What you're seeing is when you get these conversations and you put it into context and you put it into the data that is being presented to you guys, it makes perfect sense now, doesn't it? You still can get you will get stories like this because you have to have stories like this. Or what are you going to come on and say? Shedeur Sanders, hey, they might be good, they might not be good. We'll see. We're going to give you opportunity. No. That's not going to get you seen. So that's why when they all say, you guys all know, you got to look at Ty Simpson, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. No, you're saying, I need you to talk about Ty Simpson because it gives good farm engagement.
Far and away the guy. It's not a strong class at quarterback, but, and I know you guys already know this, you got to keep an eye on Ty Simpson and then you got to keep an eye on Ty Simpson in Cleveland, and he's going to continue to gain steam as we get closer to the draft because people are starting to pick up on what I just picked up on in Indianapolis during the combine. The Browns are in love with him, I think. I believe that they are fascinated by him. Obviously, the relationship with Todd Monken plays a part in that. I'm worried that they take him at 24, but I'm also probably, for their case, more worried that another team catches on and takes him before that. So don't be surprised if he ends up sneaking into the first round, even if I don't necessarily think he's quite a first-round talent.
The Browns are in love with Ty Simpson? Man. Oh, man. Really? They're in love with? I didn't know. They're really in love with Ty Simpson? No, my good sir. No, good sir. At the way Andrew Berry and Todd Monken and the Cleveland Browns have moved and rotated, the messaging is clear. What you're seeing right now is a very pivotal point. And I'll prove this, and I'll show you why it is a pivotal point. This is D-Day for a lot of people. This is Terminator Judgment Day, right? This is what you're fighting for. I'm going to tell you like this. When Shedeur Sanders, got here and there was a lot of extra stuff and people was like, I'm on one side, I'm on another side or whatever. That was early in the game. But I noticed what Coach Prime was talking about when he asked that reporter, what was you doing when they was running my son's name through the ground? You didn't stop him. You didn't stand up and say, whoa, that's out of pocket. We talk about football conversation, but the character stuff, no, we're not going to do that. He said, well, I tried. He said, no, you didn't try hard enough. Here's where we are in a very precarious situation. There are going to be people who have to push. You already know where you're at right now. You done already chose what side you on. And when it comes to certain people like Prime, we already know where you're at. And the scary part about it is, what if the general manager and the owner then already picked a side? If they've already picked a side and the bet and the gamble on Shedeur Sanders works out, where does that leave you? It leaves you on the outside looking in with no blanket. Because when you say there was a quarterback and he's a franchise quarterback, you know what that means. It means that if your guys are just upset right now because you got to sit around and wait for well-off media to come in the room, you think that was bad? What you think is going to happen when he's the franchise quarterback? That is the crux of it, guys. The pushback is, where does that leave me if it's wrong? People always ask me, well, G. Bush, you talk about Shedeur all the time. You talk about Shedeur all the time. Why is it? What happens if Shedeur's gone? What are you going to do? I give him Exhibit C. I'm a football player. This is the way our mentality is. It's like how the way Phil Taylor talks about it. It shows you perfectly about the mentality of it. See, you guys don't understand. I didn't talk to people about Shedeur. I didn't talk to people about his case. I didn't talk to him about what the expectation level is. And even the people the closest to him say, there has never been a guarantee that Shedeur Sanders was going to be given anything. We never asked for nothing like that. We compete. We work out. We go do our thing and let the best man win. Phil Taylor said the same thing. Let's see what he's talking about. This is very easy for me.
Be surprised.
Yes.
And hurt or
no.
Now look, he says, let's preface this. Josh Cribbs asked Phil Taylor, would you be surprised if Deshaun Watson won the quarterback competition?
Would you be surprised?
Yes.
And hurt or
no. I'll be surprised. I'll be proud. But at the same time, Shedeur was the starter at the end of the season last year. I think he should be the starter going into this year, and it should be up to him to lose it.
Right.
So during this offseason, you know what I'm saying, if Deshaun has a better offseason and Deshaun is back to being healthy and looking like he was, when we paid him the money to come from Houston, then so be it.
So be it, so be it. Ain't nobody, that's the thing they can't wiggle out of. Ain't nobody over this way said we ducking no smoke and somebody about to get everything. We told you what you was putting out was propaganda and a lie, talk about it was going to be a competition. It wasn't. You try to tell us, oh, well, we all know that if he would have been doing some of the same things these other folks is doing, you would have been flipping out. But guess what? This is the crazy thing that they know. It's wild work. It's wild work. They are orchestrating and blocking the plot in real time. And they dropping jewels on you. And it's going overhead. Watch this. They are aware of all of the stuff that was being said. Every single thing that was put out by anonymous sources back in the day, over the last year, has been debunked by people that work for the Browns or play for the Browns in real time. They've written every single talking point out and then systematically went to debunk it, unsolicited, one by one. You don't believe me? Let's go ahead through the timeline. One of the major things that people tried to say was Shedeur Sanders. Nobody else wanted him. Nobody else was interested. Nobody else was doing nothing. He was 5th round, nobody in the league. The first opportunity Ty Simpson had on camera was, hey, we know you know we tried to draft you. Strike one. That talking point died a painful death. Imagine you coming up with that propaganda, and the first thing that the coach says to him is, we tried to draft you. Whoop, that talking point is gone. All of a sudden, every player that played for the Browns, Kevin got a raw deal. Kevin got a raw deal. Kevin needs a quarterback. Kevin. You try to play the victim role, and then systematically, every single player that the Browns came out with said, this dude been fraudulent. I don't even think he know what he doing. That got to hurt your soul. You think that's a coincidence? Shedeur Sanders, y'all told just a few weeks ago, they questioned whether or not he wants to truly be great. They questioned, does he want to watch film? Doesn't watch film that much. But Dylan Gabriel was the computer, leader, mature, all the above, right? Unsolicited, Ty Simpson comes in and says, I've seen Shedeur in here. Be seeing him all the time. The owner, seen Shedeur, man. Shedeur been lifting weights. I've seen him. It's the owner. It's the coach. Then unsolicited, he says, you seen Dylan? They already had the talking points written down. Said, oh my goodness. These folks that sat up in the meeting and systematically went to the approach and be like, say, why would you unsolicited say that? You know why? They were signaling, yeah, we know you was getting told a bunch of information. But let's show you how this is going to work. Everything that you said, we are going to discredit in real time. And what that does, it's a really crazy signal. I know that you know that we know what you've been trying to get off, and it ain't going to work. Let me ask about Myles Garrett contract. I'm tired of wasting my breath on that. Good gracious. I know Tyvus ain't lying. Waiting on Bucky for Shedeur. I told people like this. It's getting late early. And the calculus is this. What are you going to do? How are you going to form any engagement when you've been shown that everything you've been saying has been wrong since inception? It's all one big game. And before you can try to get mad and debunk it, they keep coming with another story. It's another thing that they got to get. You got to get another story. They ain't even comfortable. They trying to figure it out. Because here's the thing. The Browns done told people. Let me just tell y'all this. You know, I be talking a little something. I be talking to some folks. Remember what I said last week? Browns looking for a couple of people to play ball. When I say play ball, Browns looking to rebrand. That hashtag New Cleveland is a thing. They're looking for people to rebrand. By the way, t-shirts on the way. Just let y'all know that right quick. Y'all, yeah. Don't be stealing their idea. They're not going to support it. Don't you go out there trying to get the hashtag New Cleveland. They're not going to support it because it came from an organic place. It came from an organic place over here. Don't try that. But they're looking for people that want to play ball. If you was on the outside looking in the last regime, maybe you want to be in the inner circle in this one. By the way, I'm not talking about myself, though. I do opinion pieces over here. I'm in the barbershop. I'm independent. I'm going to just tell you how I feel about it. So we ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the legacy. Let me tell you about the legacy. They're looking for some people that want to play ball. if you was over that side with Kev, who want to be over here with Todd? Todd looking for a couple good people, looking for a few good reporters that want to talk some football. I ain't going to say no names, but notice, I'm going to give y'all a little hint. Who the people that ain't on the internet crashing out? There's certain people that's kind of quiet right now. Certain people that got all level-headed, right? Certain people have been having, and then walk back some stuff. Maybe they might have had a conversation or two. Maybe they had a conversation with some folks up top. Matter of fact, maybe they want to play football. So it's out there. I'm going to be interested to see who going to play ball. Y'all going to notice it too. Y'all probably notice it before me. Like you going to see you going to see the cut and switch up in a minute. It'll come back around. You'll see it. Steph J, you funny. Hey, listen, hey, you going to see, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of level-headed takes. The takes going to get really nuanced. They're going to really get in their prognosticating journalistic bag. You're going to be seeing a lot of cats that, like, I'm telling you, bro, because they're looking for a few good men. I'm just talking. Coming up, we have the draft party popping. We will have a draft party live. So hang out with G. Bush. We will be going through all the picks in the first round right here on the Barbershop. Make sure you understand where you're going to be at and continue to support the channel. We will get your birthday shirt out to you guys as well. And we definitely appreciate you. And with that being said, you never know what G. Bush might show up. Radio, television, internet, but if you want the fresh cut on sports, you know what it is. I keep the Clippers with me. Have a great rest of your evening. And as always, you know how we give it up. Hashtag New Cleveland, Kool-Aid Mafia for life. And as always, go Browns.